Hey everybody, Colin here. Been a long time. So I wanted to thank everybody who, over the last, I don't know, 8 years or so, I occasionally get these emails about comments on my videos or people asking me how I've been. And I appreciate that. Or people will be like, yeah, I took Cipro, and, ask for advice or relate to my experience. I think a lot of the focus that I had early on, the first 5 years, was on Cipro, feeling like Cipro is what had wrecked my body. I think that the Cipro definitely hurt my colon, enlarged it. The combination of that and Flagyl and being constipated, I think I lost some nerves and motility in my colon. But anyways, the main culprit in this saga is, as we all know, Lyme disease. It's crazy what can come from just this tiny little tick getting on you. Your health just kind of becomes a circus and a mystery. It's hard to. I like to keep my videos 10 minutes, as you all know. It's going to be hard to do this in 10 minutes to tell you what's happened in the last 5 years, but I'll give it a shot. Since Virginia, okay, we'll talk Lyme disease here. Well, let's do summary real life. Girlfriend, been with her 6 years. We moved to Georgia. We moved back to Virginia. We moved to Florida. Have a good job here in Florida. We've been here 3 years, and looking to possibly have a house here and in Virginia. So I'm thankful for all the things I've gotten in real life, but then there's the Lyme world, which is just this bizarre world where you're trying to maintain your health. I continue to eat bad pizza, chips, high-fat foods, sugar, and at a certain point, about 3 years ago, my heart started to beat really hard, especially after eating pizza or something with a lot of fat, something that needed to process. And it continued up to a point in Orlando where I woke up in the middle of the night and my heart was pounding and my blood pressure was high, and my blood pressure got so high that I popped a vessel in my eye, a little blood vessel in my eye. So, to summarize, I think what was happening is I really don't know if I know the Lyme disease has been probably destroying my gut over the years. There's something that had been growing and still is growing inside my guts. Like, it just feels like a mass of like goo, of like, I guess you could call it biofilm, or there's some question whether it might be a tapeworm, because when I was in Orlando, I saw a natural health place and they had suggested, somehow I thought about tapeworm because before I even got Lyme, I had eaten some bad Italian food, and I remember like a cockroach being on the table and how nasty it tasted, and I threw up like that night, and I just felt awful for days. And I feel like it's possible I had been living with a tapeworm even before the Lyme. And then there's some studies that say like tiny little tapeworms can be co-infections, can come with Lyme. So, when I was in Orlando, I started taking praziquantel, ivermectin. I mean, we're talking like praziquantel from the pet store because I couldn't find a prescription because the doctors are so resistant to believe you have a tapeworm. So anyways, I ended up seeing tapeworm looking material in my stools, like long strands, you know, filmy. Looked a lot like tapeworms, but my doctor here was convinced that it was biofilm from Lyme disease. If you know about Morgellons, there's a documentary on that as well that's linked to Lyme disease, which talks about, well, it talks more about the skin sensations and the pain and depression and all that, but it's associated with Morgellons, these films, keratin, I guess, that can also build up in your guts. So I never, and they weren't moving or anything. I never really figured that out because no more seemed to come out after that point. But I got so weak in Orlando. My joints got so bad. My heart was getting so bad after work. My blood pressure would go up after work, and I would feel like I was going to explode. Like, and this is multiple times this is happening. So it felt like my heart was failing. I was afraid that Lyme disease had gotten into my heart, right? Because it just would pound and pound, and we're talking all night. We're talking like, it's not just like a heart palpitation. It was like, and at the same time, my stomach was just felt like it was full. It was almost like something in my stomach was pushing into my heart and causing it to panic, but I didn't know. So I was desperate. So I bought a $10,000 Rife machine from Canada, shipped it down, plasma tube, whatever, starting trying all these frequencies that are supposed to be for Lyme and tapeworms. It's just like craziness, right? Looked like a mad scientist trying to use this thing. And I couldn't tell what it did. I couldn't tell if it did any good because I didn't notice anything while using it. And come to find out, like, it was loud and high frequency, and I left it on one night and fell asleep next to it, and I woke up in the middle of the night with tinnitus. And I still have that tinnitus. So, in desperation, trying to do the right thing and heal my disease, and I end up doing more harm. So, that's a word of caution to you. You have to be careful when you're trying to, venture off and do different things for yourself, because you're sensitive when you have Lyme. So, okay. So after that, I can't explain all this in 10 minutes, but basically after that, I can't explain to you how low I was then, like how depressed and anxious, because it I thought I was close to dying, and I could barely walk my dogs. Like I could barely walk just, around one block, I went to the natural place, and I started feeling a little bit better with the herbs and putting all kinds of stuff in my stomach. I mean, you name any kind of cure for Lyme, cryptolepsis, any kind of herb, whatever pill, I was pumping it into my stomach. And, I got a little better, but since then, it's just been a struggle. Like, it's just been a struggle in particular with my guts and my joints, and my back starts cracking, and my knees, everything just started cracking within the period of a year. And now everything cracks. Like, it's almost like it's invaded into my joints. And the only thing that's helped some with my stomach has seemed to be Plaquenil, hydroxy, ivermectin. I just don't know. Like, it seems to maybe help, but like pumping all these things into my stomach, I don't know what that's doing to my gut flora. But anyways, I just wanted to give you all an update. I would say I'm really not that much better. Like my mind is probably better, but I still worry about my guts always being full and putting all this pressure on the rest of my body. So I'm just continuing with the Plaquenil. Peace out, everybody.